This is the city. One of the biggest in the United States. Spreads out in all four directions like a broadloom rug. Los Angeles, California. It's pretty much like your town.
This is the city. Los Angeles, California. My name is John Gregory Dunne. I'm a writer, and I love Los Angeles. In many ways, that's an aggressive statement, because loving LA is not a passion shared by much of the rest of the country. I love the idea of Los Angeles, the idea of space, the idea of mobility. I love its lust to be different and its sense of freedom, an awareness of expanding possibilities to which a newcomer can become addicted before he even realizes he likes LA. I love it.
Good evening, Los Angeles and Southern California. I am Mother Love. And this is KFI, AM 640. I am your girlfriend in the air chair as we continue our conversation. I want you to get involved. You give me a call, the lines are open. 553-4640 from Orange County and all across beautiful, smoggy, congested, superficial Southern California. I want to know from you, what ticks you off the most about people who have the nerve, the unmitigated gall, the audacity to want to rag on this town? Let's go to Fountain Valley, talk to Evan, who's a first-time caller. Hi, Evan. Welcome to KFI.
You know, the perception that folks back east have about people in California is that folks who end up here are of a like mind, a little off kilter, a little off center.
I think they're just jealous because we have the best weather in the country out here.
That's all it is. They're ticked off that we can sit on the beach in the middle of November.
The people that don't like LA, they've obviously either they've never been there or they've never experienced it.
I like that. I like what you said. You have to experience LA.
Los Angeles has always been defined by outsiders who don't like it, don't understand it, and who are, in ways they can't articulate, threatened by it. Every year, some magazine publishes what I call its bagel article. They send someone out from New York to write about how impossible it is to get a good bagel in LA. That's about as useful as saying you can't get a good tortilla in New York. The visitor can only confront Los Angeles in terms of his or her own culture shock. A negative moral value is attached to the taco stand, to the palm trees, even to the San Andreas Fault. Whenever an earthquake shivers from the geological plates, there are few who can repress the question, why do they live there? As if the temblor was in some way God's punishment for this impertinence.
Well, my family regards Los Angeles as this kind of crazy place where I live, where people wear strange clothes and eat strange food and like strange music and vote the wrong way. But I think it's much more complex than that.
I've recently gone back to everywhere else that I used to live to check it out, and this is it. I always want to come back. I don't understand that because when I was a kid, LA was the place I least wanted to live in the whole world.
Why is that?
Well, my impression of it was just that uneducated, kind of beachy people lived here, and that's what lives here, but that's what I'm becoming, so it's fine.
Oh, I find Los Angeles very dull. I do. I mean, it doesn't have the pizzazz of New York. I'm sorry. Would you like me to say something more positive? The weather is fine. The weather is fine.
Misconceptions abound. LA is Lotus Land, an intellectual desert, a place of kooks and cults and loony politics. The Hansel and Gretel house in Beverly Hills is a stop on every bus tour. There are no stops, however, at the houses designed by the Green Brothers, or Richard Neutra, or Frank Lloyd Wright, houses that redefined residential architecture in America. And yet this casual visitor is still the instant expert. To listen to these experts is to believe that the city is one giant motion picture set, plopped down in the middle of Beverly Hills. In this dream construct, no one works very hard, everyone is rich, and everyone is blonde. That is not the LA I know. It is certainly not the LA I love. The LA I would like to show you. We will get to the LA of the rich and famous, but later, much later. When you think of cities, you normally think of a surge of street life and a single dominating feature: the boulevards of Paris, the skyscrapers of New York, the monuments and churches of Rome. There is nothing like that in Los Angeles. It is a city without a common narrative. The sheer size of the place makes it almost inaccessible. It is not available to the walker in the city. The idea of community does not readily flourish, because community, by definition, is built on deposits of shared experience. In LA, everyone comes from somewhere else. The newcomer is never an alien, never in exile, and always welcome.
There was a plan behind Los Angeles, and it was not that of a city. It was anti-city. Lots of people moved out here to get away from the concept of the urbanizing city. This was to be a different type of city. This was to be a horizontal city, of collection of villages where everybody had a little house. They lived out that American dream. Bring every man's house their castle, and indeed some people have built castles.
Not castles surrounded by moats, castles that can be reached by freeway. The freeway is forever was the trademark of a local radio station the summer I arrived in Los Angeles. Seen from the air, the freeway is like a river, alive, sinuous, the stream of cars tracing the huge contours of a city 70 miles square. The freeway deepens the sense of self-reliance. It fosters the idea of freedom. Freedom of movement, most of all. Freedom that liberates the dweller in this city from community chauvinism and neighborhood narcissism. Alhambra and Silver Lake, Beverly Hills and Bell Gardens, Santa Monica and La Cañada, each available, each an exit equally accessible from all other parts of the landmass. At rush hour, however, the reality is something else. I wonder today if my enthusiasm for the freeways would have been tempered if I had to make a daily commute.
Over the Santa Monica Freeway westbound, you'll find that a busy ride from Hoover on over to beyond Western. Once you get beyond Western, it seems to loosen up a little bit, and you'll make a big...
It is Monday morning at KRF 101, and now let's sing the next line song in its entirety.
The sheer amount of time spent in one's car alters the daily rhythm of life. One usually drives alone. These solitary drivers help make up the nation's largest radio market. 68 stations, all formats, filling the spaces between home and work, the supermarket and the dry cleaner. Talk radio, rock radio, SIG alerts, news, weather, Bible whacking, and air quality control bulletins.
KNX News Time, 7:35. A sharp earthquake shook northwest Washington and southeast British Columbia last night.
Divorce creates circumstances and problems.
Although the Romans did not invent crucifixion, they perfected it as a form of torture and capital punishment.
Listening can be customized.
Well, he's putting on speakers, pull-out, and an amp, so everything comes out to $400, including installation, everything. So everybody wants the best, you know?
When we do have people that come in and say, spend $20,000 and I want the best sound system you can do for that amount of money. But if it's going to go over, call me. And that's a lot of money to spend on a sound system in a car. Our basic philosophy is once you get over about 15, it's mostly ego. And you can see there's obviously nothing in the car. There's still no evidence of any aftermarket additions. While we've managed to put 14 speakers into this car. Well, it has a fairly extensive alarm system, including features such as an interface that will call you up if it's violated. Somebody steals the car, pulls the ignition, hot wires it, drives away. You're on the phone telling the car to set the alarm off, which will kill the ignition, then locks the doors and sets off a 120 decibel pain generator siren on the interior. We'll get their attention.
Something else is getting the city's attention. Los Angeles is once again trying to make rapid transit work. In the summer of 1990, with the freeways carpeted with cars and with smog seemingly a permanent roof over the city, LA inaugurated the first line in a multi-billion-dollar rail system that eventually will have 150 miles of track. The light rail Blue Line crosses the flats from Long Beach to the hub of the new system, that place no one thinks exists, downtown Los Angeles. It not only exists, it flourishes. A binary city, each part existing almost wholly independent of the other. On the one hand, there is the capital of the Pacific Rim, with its banks and towers and power brokers. Then there is the other downtown, the one that moves to a Latin beat, where every day seems a feast day, and the Grand Central Market is ground zero for the city's huge Hispanic population.
Animals in its 60th year of Olvera Street. 60 years ago, Olvera Street opened to the public for all of you to see. And thank you for coming to the blessing of the animals.
Here in this plaza is where the city began 200 years ago. From here, it spread in every direction. What became the way west, the 27 miles from the plaza to the Pacific, we now call Sunset Boulevard. In many ways, Sunset Boulevard is the city's quintessential surface street. Certainly, it's best known. Running from Chinatown to the Pacific, Sunset is the city in microcosm, a gazpacho of nationalities, anarchic here, conservative there, embracing food stamps and Lamborghinis. Understand Sunset, and you have come a long way toward understanding Los Angeles. West on Sunset, past Dodger Stadium, we run into Echo Park, the first of the foothill neighborhoods, once middle class, now raffish and run down. The landscape here lends itself to the unexpected vista, to to the forgotten cul-de-sac.
There was one time when someone right on the apex of the turn as one comes up Echo Park painted their house magenta and purple and turquoise with yellow trim. I always thought, how could they do that to a house? Oh man, that's terrible. And that's just bad taste personified. And I just kept thinking about it and so much that I had to do it. And then the next thing I knew, I liked it. So it's been downhill ever since.
Echo Park, Silver Lake, East Hollywood. This is the LA of Raymond Chandler and James M. Cain. In the streets up off Sunset, one can still sense the subtropical seediness behind the sun-baked stucco. Whenever I drive through these hills, I inevitably think of adulteries and private peepers and murderous plots, of Mildred Pierce and Moose Malloy.
The house seemed empty, but probably wasn't. It just had that look. It was a dried-out brown house with a dried-out brown lawn in front of it. There was a large bare patch around a tough-looking palm tree.
I remember an afternoon in a tiny Echo Park bungalow where I was served tea by Rasputin's daughter, a former circus performer, from a samovar she claimed had belonged to the Romanovs. Every turning offers the promise of such mystery. Further west, another Sunset Boulevard neighborhood. Hollywood. But definitely not the Hollywood of premieres, Klieg lights, and nightclubs with names like the Mocambo and the Trocadero. That belongs to the past. The Hollywood where I lived for 5 years was home to a floating population of whores and pimps and pushers and druggies and runaways. My house was robbed twice. Crime was what we talked about.
Well, I thought Hollywood was a center of, stars and everything. But when I came here, it was totally different.
Increasingly, Hollywood is also home to ethnics who have come to Los Angeles in pursuit of the American dream. For them, Hollywood is the new Ellis Island, the first stop in the new world. In these hills, for example, live 50,000 of the 300,000 Armenians in Southern California.
This area, I don't know, it's changed faster, Hollywood. One time you see the Mexicans come, one time it's coming Philippines, one time coming Armenian, and they go. All the time change. 25 years, every 2 years, 3 years, I see new face in this area.
West again, and onto the Sunset Strip. I like those billboards. Outsiders think they spoil the view, but they're what Hollywood is all about, the point of the exercise. Here, every picture's a hit, every record goes platinum, and everyone has a piece of the gross. Glamour is the product, taste an afterthought. Mecca, Beverly Hills, Holmby Hills, Bel Air, the West Side, and the sweet fruit of the Hollywood hustle. These are the people who really do have a piece of the gross. who have the personal trainer who arrives at dawn, who have the Rolls Royce with the license plate that says second car. In this Oz of affluence, there are certain tribal customs.
So when is camp?
Camp starts May 8th.
And when are you leaving?
I'm going to be leaving the 6th.
I'll get a list of names to you for cast.
Okay.
And I'll get a group of names for a director who we would be interested in, and I'll ask William Morris how soon they can get an answer from Jillian Armstrong, because I think she'd be wonderful.
That'd be great.
Once I was told by my agent that you never screw anyone over at dinner, you only screw them over at lunch. The workday begins with calls to New York, or to Europe if one has a picture shooting, or a client whose hand needs to be held. Breakfast at the Bel Air is work.
I don't need a lot. I need $5 million to do it right.
Back onto Sunset again. Suddenly it is cooler. There is a breeze in the air and the faint smell of brine. 27 miles from where we started, after the melting pot and the mysterious hills, after the sleaze and the dreams and the glamour, there it is at last, the end of Sunset and the Pacific Ocean. I lived at the water's edge for 8 years, on a palisade overlooking the Pacific. The pull of the ocean is so strong that I had to turn my desk toward a blank wall, because otherwise I would spend hours just staring out at it, lost in reverie. The Pacific is the last stop, the place where we run out of continent, and we better make it work here, because there's no place else to go.
Nobody said that the waves are up and everybody will be in. It's like a jungle communication, drums, you know, everybody knows the waves are up and they go in. I'm the oldest surfer here, and probably on the coast, and I've been surfing since 1960. Yeah, I surf almost every day. Every day. You know, most guys just come out like this. I go in every day.
The beach is LA's last great gathering place, a sand-covered public plaza, stretching nearly 100 miles from Trancas at the upper edge of Malibu, where I used to live, down past Laguna in Orange County. Like the freeways, the beach is totally egalitarian. At its most base, a paradise of black, brown, yellow, and white TNA.
Check it out, it's called the sand right here. This nation right today. Believe that lie of their so-called lover telling them, honey, you's the only woman that I'm having sex with, honey. So therefore, I don't need to use no condom. And they believe that lie. And a lost man or teenager boy outside of Jesus, they'll mate with any woman or teenager girl that will pull down their panties and say, let's go.
The sentinels of the beach are its professional lifeguards, like policemen and firemen, county civil servants.
Hey, Dominic, we got a blitz off 23. Just keep an eye out.
My daughter was taught how to swim in a junior lifeguard program. The lifeguard brought the small children out beyond the surf in a boat, threw them off, and said, swim. They claim never to have lost a child.
There's a few times I feel uncomfortable in the water. I mean, I've been swimming most of my life, and I have a lot of respect for the ocean. I feel that the day you lose respect for the ocean or feel you have it mastered is the day it snaps your neck. Like yesterday, let's see how many rescues they had. Well, they had 3 rescues yesterday. I thought they would have more than that.
Like ship captains at sea, the lifeguards keep a daily log of the eventful and the uneventful.
1,100 hours. Fog hanging in, battling the sunshine. 1,500 hours. 4 die-hard volleyballers still at it. 1,700 hours. Baptisms going on in the surf. Lots of born-agains splashing around. 1,800 hours. Movie crew appears on beach. Lady finds tame duck and surf. Getting quiet and mellow here. 1,900 hours. Quiet now. Getting tired of quietness as an adjective. How about tranquil? Much better as a word and more descriptive of the phenomena here. Tranquil now, all over the area.
Once you leave the ocean, Los Angeles is the most makeshift of cities. Nothing grows naturally. Even the palm trees are imported. The city is a desert. Its water must come from someplace else. And come it does, through a system of dams and aqueducts and siphons and pumps and forebays and afterbays and reservoirs and weirs. California's plumbing, as it were, and the most essential element in the city's infrastructure. The story of how Los Angeles got its water was rarely pretty and never ennobling. It was a low-down fight between those who had the water and those who wanted it. And those who wanted it had money, power, and greed on their side. They also had William Mulholland, for 40 years the chief engineer and manager of the Los Angeles Water Department. If Los Angeles needed water, Mulholland perceived his mission as bringing it, and he did not hesitate to vent his wrath on any who did not share his obsession, or worse, who tried to obstruct him. With the burnish of time, this has come to be called, not without some merit, vision. The aqueduct was finally completed in 1913, and the future of Los Angeles was set. Boom could now become the altar at which the city worshipped. As if it were a favor only he could bestow, Mulholland opened the spillway with the grandiloquent command, "There it is, take it."
You gotta meet me in Los Angeles, 'cause I've come here to stay, and I won't go away until my judgment day. Old flowers all smell sweeter, and the sun shines brighter here.
Growth was the 11th commandment, and meant to be obeyed no less than the first 10. A height limit of 150 feet was set for all buildings, so that the city would grow out instead of up.
It's busy as a beehive making honey. Why you gotta be a dumpling lot to make a lot of money? 'Cause I'm gonna make Los Angeles my home.
Bob Hope, who made several fortunes in Los Angeles real estate, once advised a younger star to go out where the houses ended and start buying land. It was by this ethic that the city grew. Developments leapfrogged across the county. Today, you can still go out to where the bulldozers have just left. The streets are paved, and there are lawns and lamp poles and street signs and cul-de-sacs. Only the houses are missing. There was a time when it was easy to predict who would live in any given neighborhood. Now many encapsulate cultures William Mulholland never dreamed of. Arcadia, next door to Pasadena, once sleepy and middle-class Anglo, is becoming upmarket Chinese. The old bungalows giving way to instant villas, manors, and chateaus. 5,000 and 10,000 square foot houses sprawling over lots intended for something far more modest.
I think it's according to the Chinese tradition, like the
the living style. You know, most of the parents,
they have a three
generations.
generations.
3 generations live together.
They want
most
a
of
big
them.
family, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why they have a big house.
这是主卧房，主卧房也是采用水晶灯。
Most of the people, if they don't take care of their parents, the people will curse them like, you know, like you don't respect your parents.
Because you're taking care of parents, your kids will taking care of you later on.
洗澡池它是有那个美国最新型的那个 jacuzzi， 三温暖。
Chinese, you know, tradition. They think if you make the stair face to the entry door directly, it's gonna cost the money goes out, never come back. So they always turn around the stair, never face straightly to the entry door. That means even you have money goes out, go this way, you will turn around and still get collected in this house.
Some of Arcadia's long-time residents have mixed feelings about the new look of their community. They talk about aesthetics, but their apprehensions go deeper. In Arcadia, as in many other Los Angeles communities, this is a new way of life, and it's a way of life in which Anglo residents will play an increasingly peripheral role. What is surprising to the outsider is how many different cities Los Angeles is. It is surprising also to most of the people who live there. To the Anglos on the west side, or in the San Fernando Valley, or in the beach towns, much of the city is terra incognita. It would not occur to them that on the largely Hispanic east side, boxing is not only the sport of choice, but a ticket out of the barrio, the way basketball is a ticket out of the black ghetto.
Judge's decision, the winner in the blue corner, Carlos Polanco.
I know people on the west side who think you need a passport to go east of Fairfax Avenue in Hollywood.
TV Domestic Agency.
For most Anglos, the ambient noise, the muzak of Los Angeles, is the sound of spoken Spanish. Only a few of the lyrics are familiar, words and the occasional complete sentences spoken to gardeners and domestics, La Niña, La Marqueta, La Aspiradora, the vacuum cleaner, Más agua aquí, and the delicate and usually negotiable, ¿Tiene usted los papeles? Meaning, do you have papers?
You know, we're all very warm and friendly with any help we have. My father lives with us as well, so I don't think she'll be overburdened. It's more of everyone pitching in to make sure things get done. So it's probably unusual in that sense. We aren't looking for a servant. We're looking for a helper. We'll treat her good, and hopefully she'll be happy. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Like Maria, the woman who worked for us for 10 years, Sonia is a refugee from the war in El Salvador, a school teacher who left a 3-year-old daughter back home. She makes $100 a week, 1 day off, room and board included.
Okay. Todos los días cuando la señora se baña simplemente quiere que lo seques.
Y aquí lo limpio con vidrio.
Try to imagine Los Angeles without Sonia and her sisters and brothers in the workforce. If they all suddenly upped and disappeared, the city would cease to function. There would be no more domestics, no more gardeners, restaurants would be without busboys, contractors without the workmen they call manual labor, or manual labor.
A friend that I know, she works as a chef. She called me the other day and she asked me if I wanted to work with her, and I said yes. And I asked why. And she said that, well, because the owner said it's better for you if you get a Latino guy because he works harder, more responsible, and they get less pay also. Wow, and that is true.
I have seen also the Americans, or the young Americans, do not want to work hard for less money. You know, they want a lot of money by doing almost nothing. I mean, if I'm working in the restaurant, I really do not care if I can afford it or I cannot, because I am lucky by working on the kitchen. I cannot say I can take whatever I want, but I will have my meal every day. And I'm happy with getting it.
Regardless of where people live, they deserve to live in a clean neighborhood, and we can do certain things, but we need your cooperation, and the cooperation that we have here today is...
Lotus Land is not supposed to have have-nots. Even with Tom Bradley, its four-term black mayor, and a restive Latino population just beginning to flex its political muscle, Los Angeles, like most American cities, is almost overwhelmed trying to deal with those who have fallen through society's safety net. Much of the job has fallen to community activists. One of them is Sweet Alice Harris in Watts.
Why didn't you do half of it? No, you got to do all your lesson. No, I'm going to tell you, you go right on back in there and do all your lesson. Right back in there. Get right on back in there and get all your lesson done. Get in there, young man, get in there. You have to know something about one another's culture. That's important. If you're talking to a Hispanic child and he turns his head this way, he's showing you respect. If you talk to a black child and he turns his head this way, he's about to hit you, because he's not showing you respect. If a Hispanic child looks you in your eye, he's disrespecting you. If a black child looks you in his eye, in your eye, he's respecting you. So surely you must know these things to know how to get along with one another.
For Sweet Alice, education is the freeway to the good life, a means to spring her charges from the volatility of their environment.
Our slogan is, we don't have to lead a mule to the trough to drink. But if we create a high enough thirst, they'll want to drink. So we're getting ready for university, and the sky is the limit. What we're doing here is to give them what they never had in their life and to let them know they're special. We're getting them ready for university. And these are the things that you can have. You don't have to dream about it. You can actually have this. All you have to do is get a good education. Drop your attitude and get a good education. And these things are for real.
It is the shame of most of us who write that only riot or death bring us to South Central Los Angeles. Riot or death, or the ritual night ride in the interests of research with police officers from the 77th Division, or that biennial election year charade in which the white hand takes the black pulse. We look, we listen, and then head for the Harbor Freeway before the sun sinks. Increasingly, in areas like Watts and Lincoln Heights, Compton and Mar Vista, attitude and turf add up to the difference between the quick and the dead. In these neighborhoods, gangs and the attendant havoc they wreak dominate the social dialogue.
Candy Girl.
Bear.
Smiley. Bambi.
Bandy. There's Flaco.
Here, in Boyle Heights, are the homies, the homeboys and homegirls of TMC, or the mob crew. They're only children with the bravado, false bravado we outsiders would like to think, of the streets.
Oh, somebody that's never been down here and they ain't from nowhere, they don't have to worry about it. They won't get sweat. But if somebody that's from somewhere that we don't get along with, it's like they have to worry about it. And they won't come down here. They're too scared to come down. It's either they get mobbed, and if they're packing, we'll be packing too.
I guess what I want to do is teach them a different sense of what down means. Because down is the highest value in gangs. Are you down for your neighborhood?
Meaning what?
Meaning, are you willing to kill somebody? You know? Most down is someone who kills. That's the highest spectrum, you know?
They think that we just walk around killing people like for fun, you know? That's what everybody thinks, you know? That's why they try to stop gangs, because they think that we just go stealing for no reason, go killing people. And it's not true, you know? We do it, when we kill somebody, you know, it's for a reason. We don't just do it for fun.
I mean, gangs are as complex as a kind of reality as anything is, you know. And who knows why and how exactly, you know. I mean, it's all the reasons, like when we were kids and we wanted to have a clubhouse, you know, and you exclude people and you belong and you feel a sense of I belong to this group and I feel good about myself because I do and I identify with it.
Hanging out with the friends, with the homies, you know?
Like your family, you know?
Yeah,
your neighborhood's
it
your
is a
family. You know, if you got a problem, you can't talk to your parents, you go to your homeboys. You know, I got a problem, this and that, you know, they'll help you out. You know, you need a place to stay or something, you know, the homie will say, no, come to my house, you know, you can stay over. You know, that's us, you know, that's what gangs are all about, you know, taking care of each other, you know.
Across town, light years away socially and emotionally, another closed society. Hollywood, the most ridiculed and the most envied cultural outpost in the country. The movies have infiltrated the American psyche. Technology as an art form, bankrolled by men who in the local lore knew only one word of 2 syllables, and that word was film.
Even though the motion picture industry is regarded as quintessentially American, it is actually was pioneered by and was commanded by Eastern European Jews who are anything but typically American. And yet, they create, out of their own desires for assimilation, this American world of white picket fences, strong community, religious beliefs, family, whatever, all of these things that we now regard as traditional American values. So that almost everyone in America now thinks of America in the terms set by Eastern European Jewish immigrants who invented Hollywood.
Now we are right here at Spargo in the kitchen, high above Sunset Boulevard, and it's Passover, so you know it's not our usual dinner. You can see we don't have bread, we have matzah, which we make here at the restaurant. We are probably one of the only places who make their own matzah. And tonight we have a big dinner for 200 people, and we serve traditional dishes with a little twist, really. Like we have gefilte fish, but I make them my way, and a chicken soup, for example, with matzo balls in it. We shall try out of the matzo ball. See if it's 3 pounds. Yeah.
It's ready.
Good. It shouldn't fall apart. It should have a little bit of a texture to it. I hate matzo balls which are like soaked up with chicken soup and they have no more flavor. So it should be a little firmness to it, but not hard.
In the industry, everyone is Jewish, even people like me, Irish and Catholic. We are honorary Jews, fluent in Hollywood Yiddish. I schlepped around town with the best of them, knew who is stipping whom, and could patchki with the best of the machers.
We begin this service by sanctifying the name of God and proclaiming the holiness of this festival.
When Ronald Reagan used to invoke traditional American values, what he was really invoking wasn't George Washington and Abraham Lincoln so much as he was invoking Louis B. Mayer of the 1930s. They created America. They invented America and the American dream.
Peter, Apple 1, take 1 off our cameras, Mark.
So B and C, that's a line cue, B2, C3.
It's good enough.
Now we've got those.
All right, Judith, I'd like to say. Thank you. Folks, I'd like to say, action.
Hollywood is rightly called the dream factory, with everything the word factory implies. Making movies is a job often as tedious as laying pipe.
These things up, the cafe the next day.
Drew. Hello? Did you ever have something that just kept gnawing at you? Something so private you couldn't tell anyone about it?
Well, yeah, but I think every teenage kid wants to see what it feels like to wear a bra. Oh, jeez, I told you!
Writing sitcoms, or any weekly TV show, is both group therapy and manual labor of the mind. The hours are killing. 8 days a week, a friend of mine once said, 30 hours a day.
Well, it gives him a good line to exit on. Yeah. You know, who else then you see, and then he's embarrassed and he's out of there. We see your point.
At 2 in the morning on the day of the shoot, writer's block is an occupational hazard.
creative as a politician.
Creative as a something about as creative as
a dish. He looks down. Dish. See?
However hard they work, they don't make blue-collar wages. The money in television is staggering.
You can't take you guys anywhere.
You got cheddar dust on my M&Ms.
Oh, sorry, Tran is just depressed. I took tests in magazine to measure creativity and failed. According to this, I'm about as creative as a you see?
The faceless people in TV make most of the money, but there are few who would not kill to make a movie. There is the dynamic of contemporary Hollywood. It is once and forever a movie town. Movie royalty is the only royalty. TV people are just rich. Famous faces and famous names. Each name and each face with a commercial value attached. Much of what passes for entertaining in Hollywood is actually fundraising. Everyone seems to have a favorite cause or a favorite disease. Attendance at these events is a chore, all smiles and head swiveling, and that middle distance stare stars seem to learn at acting school. No eye contact, like the Queen of England waving from her carriage.
We thought we were going to a movie opening, and we come by, and all of my agent's here, so I figured, well, you know, and then there's other actors and actresses, and I figured, well, this is the time to get on camera if we can, because I can see a lot of these lights. Turns out they're having a cocktail party about the environment or something.
Right here, Morgan, please. Morgan, right here. Right here. Over the shoulder, please.
This is one of these things where we pay a lot of money as celebrities to organizations that pimp us to ostensibly raise money toward the betterment of the earth.
We can make a difference.
It's a hustle, but then Hollywood is about hustle. It can even operate a traffic school. Here, violators come for an 8-hour brush-up course in lieu of losing their licenses. A course that in this instance also serves as an unlikely venue for a comedy audition.
Guys, if you have a little piece of paper, are you ready? Here's what we're going to do. When somebody comes in between the now and the next few minutes, they're late, they're upset, they can't stand being in traffic school, and they usually blame me for that. So when they come in, I'm going to tell them they're too late to stay, all right? You guys turn on me like you hate my guts. Call me a jerk, talk about my mama, curse me loud, all right? Throw paper at me. Do not throw those clipboards at me, all right? I've had that in the past. Then I'll give in to you guys. I'll be afraid. I'll let them stay. Cheer for them like you want them in your class for 8 hours and pat them on the back like you got them in, all right? I know this is Hollywood. We have to have a rehearsal. Please participate, everybody. Industry people, by the way, applause is where you put your hands together like that, okay, several times? Several times? Okay, because some industry people don't know. They don't remember. So this is a good gig. It really is. I'm an actor, and I want to be seen by as many people as possible, and I'm also a stand-up comedian. So this is a perfect forum for me, not only to work on my timing in front of a live audience 4 or 5 days a week, but also because important people in this industry do get traffic violations. I've had many producers, directors who come to my class. Casting directors will come in and they say, hey, we'll give you a part, and they take my picture and resume, and I'm in there. And it's like what I call an 8-hour audition. I'm sorry, you're just a little bit late, man. You know, we have a class that starts tomorrow at 10. I'm serious. I don't know why you're so late. No, she's late. She's late. She's late. No. She's late. She's late. Okay, all right, she can stay. This is a hustle job. You know, like I said, every now and then we have producers or directors in here. I used to shy away from them. I used to say, oh, there's a director in the room. I better stay away from her, you know. I won't brown nose. Now I look right at him and say, I'll sleep with you. I'll sleep with you. Get me a job. I'll do it. I will, really. Right here, as a matter of fact. I don't care.
Those of us who are here, who have made that transition from back east, from down south, from around the world, you enjoy it, don't you? Sure. We got a problem with smog. We got a problem with crime. We have a problem with population. We've got a problem with a shortage of resources, and look at what we've done to the environment. But through all of that, through all of it, it's still home. If we don't stand up for it, who's gonna stand up for it?
When we began, I said that Los Angeles had neither a common character nor a common narrative. It always had other people's narratives imposed upon it. The story today is that of a city in decline. It is reported that people are leaving, but in fact, those who leave are being replaced even faster by newcomers from around the country and around the world. But that's not so good a story. The notion about a declining Los Angeles is nothing more than a metaphor for fears about the decline of the American century, about blacks and immigrants, and a white city becoming less white. It's true about Los Angeles, which is why its future promises to be so exhilarating. I was one of the people who left Los Angeles after 24 years, left only because I had spent too long at the fair. There is nothing worse for a writer than to feel tapped out. My life needed a change. It was time to move on. And yet I keep coming back 3-4 times a year. And when I do, I feel an astonishment, an attachment that approaches joy. I was happy here. I had a good time. I worked well. I missed the space, the mobility, the sense of freedom. Missed the harsh and pitiless sun that reveals every wart and emphasizes every eccentricity. I love it.